Welcome back to the channel. This is the Mimesis Lens, and today we have another breakdown video. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive and looking into the occult within the music industry. So stick along because I'll be commenting in real time as we go along with these videos.
Okay, let's break this down a little bit. I've been alive forever, and I wrote the very first song. Lucifer was the music. God created Lucifer to create music.
Alright, in case you didn't know, the song that she's talking about is I Write the Songs by Barry Manilow. I skipped the music part of it in the beginning so we don't get copyright strike, but that is the song she's referring to in this video.
Music was created even in him. It came out of him. It was, completely flourished by him. He was the start of music because of God. I put the words and the melodies together. I am music and I write the songs. And then we go into the chorus. I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I write the songs of love and special things. I write the songs that make the young girls cry. I write the songs. I write the songs.
So what do you think about that so far? Pretty compelling, and if you know anything about the Bible or Christianity, you'll understand what she's talking about here.
This is verse 2. My home lies deep within you, and I've got my own place in your soul. Now when I look out through your eyes, I'm young again, even though I'm very old. He is spiritual. He's a spirit. He is not human. We are all spirits, but we have a human suit. Angels were not created with a human suit. This is how he clarifies. Though I am very old, I've been alive forever. And this is the very last line of the song, the outro. I am music and I write the songs. Can you say eerie? Can you say Lucifer?
Do you think the word muse has anything to do with music? You know, muse, to be inspired by or to be possessed by the spirits. I wonder if that has anything to do with music. But as you can see here, she's talking about some things that have been in our culture and especially in the occult within the music industry for quite some time, all the way back from 1975. So you can see that the occult has still been within the music industry.
Oh, can you say Satan? Because that is what it is. That is who it is. And I do not understand how these artists will literally get songs strategically from Satan himself and will sing it for him. It's like Satan does not love you. He's not on your side. However, he does promise these people fame and fortune. So they give up everything that they have to bow down to him.
That seems to be a little bit more prevalent in today's society, or at least it's a lot, or at least that agenda is pushed more frequently nowadays. With that being said, we have speculation of people that are less than generous with their loved ones and donating them to a power. So yeah, that can be directly seen in what's being said here. All right, so that last video was pretty compelling. I think that's a pretty good look at how long ago that the idea of Lucifer even has been in the music industry. It's something that, since it's becoming more popular and we're being more aware of it today, this is a great example of how you can connect those pieces. Let's move on to the next one.
Did you know that there's an allegedly banned musical chord called the Devil's Chord? It's rumored that the Catholic Church banned this chord in the 17th century, and many believed it was so evil that it could summon Satan himself. Do you want to hear it? 3, 2, 1.
That's pretty crazy. I think that if you were to play that long enough on repeat with nothing else around and just hold that sound, it might maybe induce a little bit of, altered state, maybe a little bit of altered state there. So that is pretty cool. We're going to listen to this one more time just so we can absorb it, see if there's anything that we can spot or notice in here. So one more time.
There's an allegedly banned musical chord called the Devil's Chord. It's rumored that the Catholic Church banned this chord in the 17th century, and many believed it was so evil that it could summon Satan himself. Do you want to hear it? 3, 2, 1.
So again, that was Morg Official. Big fan of his. Give him a shout out. Go subscribe to his stuff. He's always got cool content. So allegedly there's a forbidden chord called Devil's Chord that can summon Schmatan himself. Maybe that's a sound that's put into modern music once in a while. We'll have to figure out what that chord is. If anybody does know what the chord is, comment below.
Very curious if you could tell me some Easter eggs or hidden things that most people may not notice if they're into Tool that might relate to occultism and magic?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think the best example, the most Easter egg laden song that Tool that immediately comes to my mind that Tool has written would be The Grudge. To me, nearly every line in The Grudge is just packed with occult symbolism, mostly centering around the mythology of Saturn, both as a planetary entity as well as a mythological figure.
What does that figure represent?
Saturn represents.
Or would have heard about.
Do you know what Saturn represents? There's a lot of different theories around Saturn, the black cube of Saturn, Saturn and the Jesuits, Saturn as the interplanetary deity, like she was saying. Saturn is just a planet that we've been told what it is. The black cube on Saturn, or the giant storm, or the eye of Saturn. It makes sense that Tool has some occultism in their music, but I didn't really pay attention to that too much, so that's a good one.
If you listen to a song today, you've been a part of a magic ritual. The majority of people have no idea how music is a spell. I'm telling you, every musician understands this. If you know who this is, you're going to understand that is a sigil. It's used in magic, sigil magic. Just like the picture that I showed you, sigil magic. These are all sigils. You're going to notice when you listen to these songs, screenshot this, there's sigils on this artwork. So once you understand that music is exactly what Tesla told you in this quote, his most famous quote, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, from Tesla. That's what music is. Kato is the only person that's ever told you this, so you need to follow me so you don't lose me. Save this video and like it. I'm going to double down and tell you even more about this.
I've heard both sides of Masaru Emoto about experiment that's being shown here. I've heard that it was both successful and that it was fraudulent. So take that as you will, but it is pretty interesting. There's a couple other experiments too where, you could put some water, some paper towels in there, and you speak to each one, as well as different plants. You can put different plants next to each other and speak to them. Or you could even, I think I've seen an experiment where they line up the plants and then they speak to the water and they pour that water into the plant and then see how that interacts with it. And it is pretty fascinating stuff once you start thinking about the quantum mechanics of how it's all working. So, pretty cool stuff.
This guy, Masaru Emoto, he took photographs of water crystals when you said different words. You make me sick, evil, versus angel, I love you, peace. Look at the difference. Imagine what's happening to you when you listen to music. This is why it's a spell, it's a ritual, words have power, and they program your brain. It's a literal spell. The other part of this is the frequency that music is playing on. They changed it from peaceful, positive, beneficial to disruptive chaos. This is you when you listen to this music. 432 music lowers blood pressure,
Hey everybody.
Have you heard the legend of the Hairpin Bandit?
If you listen to a song today, you've been a part of a magic. Imagine what's happening when you listen to it. This is the frequency. The other part of this is the frequency.
So another really fun hidden factor, it's becoming more popular now, but when music was changed, I think it was back in 53, that it was changed from 432 hertz to 440 hertz. And it went from being more harmonized to being more dissonant. I wonder why they would do that. I wonder what the purpose of doing something like that is. Pretty interesting stuff here. Let's see what he has to say.
See that music is playing on. They changed it from peaceful, positive, beneficial to disruptive chaos. This is you when you listen to this music. 432 music lowers blood pressure, releases serotonin and endorphins, literally releases stress. It relaxes you when you listen to 432. And you can put this to the test. Screenshot this right now. Listen and pay attention to how you feel when you listen to this 432 hertz song. Screenshot this. Listen to it. If you listen to a song today, you've been a...
And so as you can see with the occult, there's always been hidden messages. They can put anything from symbols and sigils in their artwork, in their posters, in their music videos, all the way to having the change in frequency from 432 to to 440, having more dissonant chords, more dark frequencies. And as you can see, those frequencies have been affecting us as a culture. They've been getting to us. They've been raising the anxieties. They've been bringing up the mental health issues that people and mental health crises that people are facing. And again, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this together, because we're going to spot the patterns. We're going to decode this. We're going to figure out what's really going on, so we will no longer be manipulated. All right, so that brings us to the sponsor for today. That is going to be Amundsen Audio. Amundsen Audio has all the needs for your music distribution, whether it's publishing, sync licensing, or just getting it organized. You want to go over to amundsenaudio.com, check it out. I'm going to show you the index toolkit real quick. All right, so we're at amundsenaudio.com. I just went up to services, online programs, and today I want to talk about the music licensing toolkit and index for artists and creators. So this is a comprehensive toolkit that breaks down the myriad of music licensing in a fun, approachable way. Whether you're an indie artist releasing a cover song, a YouTuber looking for background music, or a professional managing a catalog, understanding these licenses will help you protect your work and maximize your revenue. In this, you'll cover each license type with real-world examples, common pitfalls and how to avoid them, best practices, and handy checklists to help you along the way. And then you'll also touch on ethical considerations through the case studies that are provided in the mini guide here. So again, go over to Amundsen Audio, and since you're watching this video, you can use the code 10OFF to get 10% off. Now let's get back to it.
In alchemy, the moon is represented with this symbol. Isn't that strange? The ground intersects the most obvious cycle in the sky, and the resulting symbol represents the second most obvious cycle in the sky. It's a pretty direct visual reference, but generally, cycles are represented with circles. And that makes sense. What's more cyclical than a circle? One of the most fundamental kernels of knowledge, one that everybody seems to intuitively understand, is that music is movement. And that journey is often...
Now that I think about it, there is a lot of circles in the music industry. A circle of fifths, triangles in a circle. Triangles are popular. So yeah, let's see where this goes here.
cyclical. You need to establish a home, then travel away. Then, usually, but not always, you come back home. This applies to harmony, but it also applies to melodies. A melody that doesn't leave home is just a tone. When I say music is about the journey, this is what I mean. If C is the destination, how do we get there? You could plot a melody as a trip around a circle. Just as you can only travel halfway into a forest, you can only go halfway into an octave. Anything past F sharp, up or down, is going to bring you closer to C. That's circles. This is salt, a perfect bisection.
So again, with the circle of fifths, as he was just talking about, you can see as each point you can fit in the triangle, the pentagram. You can even fit in the golden ratio within that. So that's pretty cool. Keep observing here.
In our circle of notes, it depicts a tritone, a rather dissonant pair. Every obvious shape does this. Triangle, that's an augmented chord. Square, diminished chord, or really just two tritones. These shapes show the liminal areas of our circle. You can travel here, but it takes tremendous effort to stay here. The tritone wants to bend, to resolve. The augmented chord wants to scale-y, to resolve. The square, or more commonly the isosceles, wants to move forward. I guess there's one more shape you can add here. Two triangles. Now we're just hitting every other note. I think I saw someone expand on this once. Ah, but you can pull magic from this arrangement.
And there we have it. Got the pentagram, got the Star of David, got the black cube of Saturn in there now. All the occult symbols have just now come to life within the circle of fifths. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that pretty intriguing? We have occultism and the frequencies in the foundation of music. Let's ponder on that.
Rotate the star. That's the circle of fifths, a cornerstone of music theory and analysis. And it's built on a lie. You see, the power of the circle of fifths, the reason that musicians keep coming back to it, is in its name. Each note is a fifth away from the last, and they circle back around after visiting all 12 notes. A fifth is defined as a frequency ratio of 3/2, but the fifth that we use, it's off by 1/3%. Less, actually, but it adds up. Look. And we're back at C, right? Wrong. We're off by 24 cents, give or take. A Pythagorean comma, formally. The circle of fifths is actually a spiral.
See, and we go back to it where it's the golden ratio, which is that for life. Isn't that mind blowing? Isn't that just amazing that we have the occult hidden meanings and the frequencies of different occult meanings in like the black cube of Saturn, and as well as the golden ratio, the flower of life. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool.
There's this weird, shockingly prevalent notion that music theory is a hard-bound set of rules that you must follow to make your music sound good and boring. I want you to know that's just not true. Music is squishy witchcraft. Theory is a popular way of navigating that, but
music is squishy witchcraft. We'll just note that and let that soak in for a moment. Anyways, that was pretty cool. We have one more that we're going to get to real quick, but I like that one a lot. That one was breaking down, again, the foundations of music, both the occult side and the more resonant side. And it was really cool at the end when it showed it spiraling. That was really cool because you're no longer just looking at it two-dimensionally. You can start looking at it three-dimensionally. And a lot of times when we listen to music, we kind of interpret it almost two-dimensionally, where it's just one wall of sound hitting us. But as music producers and artists understand, there's layers to music, and understanding how the frequencies can mix and match and compound, and how they can work together in harmony, or they can work against each other in dissonance. Those are all things that, like he's talking about, it's a type of witchcraft. It's a type of manipulation of your environment. And so I just really enjoy stuff like this. It's pretty cool. So I hope you've been enjoying the video. If you have, smash the like button. Otherwise, leave a comment below. Let me know what I can change on here. We got one more for you. That one was pretty fun. That was cool. That's called microtonal. At least that's what she put on there. And kind of like we were saying in the last video, where the circle of fifths goes all the way around and it's off by a few semitones, or cents as they call it, in between semitones. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Again, this is the Mimesis lens. We did a breakdown on occultism in music industry. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, leave your comments below. Let me know what I can review next, and I'll see you next time.